So in this video, I want to just make it very simple. I want to talk a little bit about how you can go from playing a rhythm to playing lead and kind of switch back and forth effortlessly. This is something that I talk to my students, I talk to other guitar players, and it's a very common problem for a lot of people, like especially beginners or people who find themselves between that beginner or intermediate stage of playing, where people will ask me stuff like, yeah, how do you go from playing rhythm to playing lead smoothly? What I just played there just now is one example that I like to pull up whenever I want to show people how to do this, and it's one of my own songs. It's out there if you want to check it out, if you want to listen to it, or if you just want to listen to it in this video, it's fine as well. But it's one of those songs that I was really inspired by Hendrix and also Mark Knopfler when I made this song. Like, I learned a lot of Hendrix songs from start to finish, and I also learned a lot of Mark Knopfler songs. So like Hendrix would be like your Little Wing, or Castles Made of Sand, for example, is another great one. So in these songs, what he does is he plays both lead and rhythm at the same time. And so you have to kind of learn from guitarists that do that has that style of playing, you know? Because some guitarists like to play more rhythm, some stay more in the lead guitar camp, where they just do soloing. I feel like Mark Knopfler and Hendrix are a great example, because especially Hendrix, if you look at Little Wing, for example, he will play this A minor in the beginning of the song. So he does an E, and then he goes to that A minor. It's basically an A minor chord, but he just chops it up into smaller pieces, right? So he hammers on, goes 2 strings above to the D string, 5th fret, hammers on again, and then he does this double stop. Instead of, he could have just played the chord, but he plays a little bit more with it. He breaks it up into different smaller pieces, which is kind of interesting. It's the same with that G chord as well, G major. To me, that is really beautiful. It's something you can do with all chord progressions, and if you learn songs from start to finish, you don't have to learn a lot of songs even. If you learn just Little Wing and Castles Made of Sand, 2 songs where Hendrix does a lot of this type of playing, where he breaks kind of the boundaries between lead and rhythm, you'll be able to do that much more fluently. Same with Mark Knopfler and Dire Straits, right? So with him, there's a little bit of a difference, there's a lot of difference between his playing and Hendrix's playing. So if we take Sultan's A Swing, for example. If we just take that, that's a D. No, D minor. So if we take that D minor, he's doing fingerstyle playing, so I won't go too much into detail on what he's doing here because it's kind of complicated. It's called an inverse rasgueado. Very interesting finger picking technique. Kind of raking his fingers up while he's doing normal Travis picking. But then he moves into that part which is kind of a bit more similar to what Hendrix is doing. A double stop. That's something that Hendrix would do. Probably Stevie Ray Vaughan has done that quite a bit as well. Something along those lines, right? So Mark Knopfler will also do the same thing. So he plays the chords for the most part, the D minor chord, but then he jumps right into that lead part. Very nimble finger picking here, which is a contrast to what Hendrix is doing. He's mostly using a pick from what I remember. But what you can do is you can learn a few of those songs. Me in particular, I learned Sultan's A Swing. I also learned I almost don't know that song anymore. It's been a while since I played it, but it's called Lady Rider. Yeah, I honestly don't remember the song anymore, but it's a great song, Lady Rider, and it's one of the lesser known songs by Dire Straits. Sultan's A Swing is a great one, and Hendrix songs like Castles Made of Sand and Little Wing. If you learn these songs, these are very typical songs of guitarists that switch back and forth between rhythm and a lead role. Then what you do after you've learned those songs, and you got to have some patience here, because you don't just want to learn the first riff or the first riff and chorus and then you let it go, because that's what a lot of guitarists do. You know, they learn the first part of a song and then they stop. You should avoid that at any cost. You should stick with it, and you should have patience with yourself and try to learn the entire thing, because that's what you're going to learn the most from. That's what's going to help you the most. So after you've done that, after you've learned maybe 3 or 4 songs, or your first song for that matter, first song that blends these playing styles of rhythm and lead, what you can do is you can create your own song. I highly recommend you start doing songwriting, even if you don't feel like you have a single creative bone in your guitar body, so to speak. You should really start just to try it out, you know, come up with a few ideas. This is one riff that I came up with. It's actually a part of a much bigger song. It's a full song. And what I did here, just kind of break it down a little bit to demystify what I did here. I took one of the chord progressions of a Beatles song. I don't know exactly which one it is. It's probably one from their album Rubber Soul. And then I took that chord progression and I call it Hendrixed. I kind of Hendrixed it up, you know. I took the chords and I chopped them up like Hendrix is doing, you know. Do stuff like that instead of just playing the chord. And then you do that all over the place. Maybe you include some harmonic notes, maybe you slide from one triad to another, because if you play a C here, you can play a C here, and here, and here, and here. That's related to the cage system, how you play one chord across the entire neck, so I won't go too deep into that. We can make another video about that at a later point. But I just wanted to make a point out of that fact that you can actually take inspiration from other songwriters and copy other songwriters that or other artists, other guitarists that have this blended style between rhythm and lead, and then you can incorporate it into your own playing. Because once you get inventive with your own playing by coming up with original songs, you really take mile-long steps when it comes to developing that rhythm lead fluency, the way you move between one and the other. If you have any questions at the end here, feel free to reach out to me on Instagram. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. And if you want to be a little bit more serious when it comes to your songwriting, we can also work together potentially. What you can do in that case is you can click the first link in the description below, and you can book a free one-on-one call that we can have together. That way we can basically just have a free, friendly conversation where we talk about your goals and challenges related to playing guitar. I'll give you some feedback, I'll actually create a framework for you that you can use yourself, or if we find out that we're a good fit, we might end up working together. So if you want to do that, click the link below, fill out the form, and book your first call. All right, see you on the other side. Cheers.